Welcome back to The Express at Waterfront Park in North Vancouver. Stunning views, hey? Imagine if all of your life, like work and play, were surrounded by beautiful things. Well, prepare to be envious on today's Capital Direct Dream Homes as we meet gallery owner Douglas Reynolds and see how his love of First Nations art meets his love of downtown living.
Capital Direct Dream Homes on Shaw TV is brought to you by Capital Direct at capitaldirect.ca.
The Douglas Reynolds Gallery on South Granville is full of beautiful native artwork and jewelry, and its owner is inspired by this art in every area of his life.
I represent mostly contemporary artists. I deal mostly directly with the artists as the works are made, and most of the works come to me straight from the artists that are their new works rather than historic pieces. I focus on Northwest Coast native art, which is the coastline of British Columbia, a bit up into Alaska, a bit down into Washington State. But it's basically the whole coastline of the province.
These new works end up in the homes of various Vancouver art collectors, and some of the pieces end up in Doug's home.
When I bring a piece home from the gallery to hang in my house, one, I guess, first of all, it has to speak to me. I tend to like, as you'll see when you're at my home, larger scale works. I like paintings, I like sculpture. I like the variedness of Northwest Coast art and art in general. With most of my pieces from the gallery would have an emotional attachment to the piece through the friendship I've built up with the artist who's made it. I have very few pieces in my home where I either don't know the artist or I don't have some sort of tie-in with the piece.
Doug lives in the penthouse of a Yaletown building right across from Emery Barnes Park.
This place was like a blank slate for me. I started with no furniture. I bought all new things. Everything was done for the space. And when I was doing the design on it, I wanted to showcase contemporary Northwest Coast art with contemporary Western art and show that the two mix really well together, and to show that Northwest Coast art fits into a very modern setting.
The open-plan kitchen, living room, and dining room house large-scale artworks and sculpture, all fitting into a personal design aesthetic that Doug describes as minimalist, modern, and comfortable. He loves all his art, but cites this one as a standout.
That would be probably one of my favorite pieces. Damien Hirst is the artist, and he's also a client of the galleries. He sent that to me as a Christmas present. It hangs next to a Robert Davidson paper cast that I also love, and I love the sort of the repetition through the condo of circles.
The standout features in Doug's condo are his outdoor spaces.
Oh my gosh, my dream deck. This is incredible.
Thanks. I love it up here. I probably use this room more than any other space in my house. I also try to have an art piece on every patio. I like the idea that art is outside and you live with it, whether it's and it's not just something that hangs on your walls in your house. I've had somebody try to buy my place a few times, this place.
Oh, really?
And he's come 3 times and tried to convince me to sell.
Wow.
And I keep going, no, because there's no place. Where could I move?
Yeah.
You know?
Where are you going to find this?
Yeah.
Doug's art-filled condo is an artistic statement on its own, but he says the best part about living here is sharing it with others.
This house is a great entertaining house. The kitchen's really functional, and I enjoy cooking, and I enjoy having people over for dinner. The roof deck is great for entertaining. You can easily have 20 people up there in an evening. Friends of mine got married on the roof deck, and we had 77 guests at the wedding. I've cleared all the furniture off the roof deck and done a sit-down dinner for 26. It's a great space, and the whole apartment is really conducive for having people over and entertaining.
In Vancouver, I'm Kendall Harris for Shaw TV.
Capital Direct Dream Homes has been brought to you by Capital Direct at capitaldirect.ca.
The website is douglasreynoldsgallery.com for another look at the artwork, the carvings, and the jewelry. And speaking of jewelry, what's your situation with bling on this ring finger? They say that every little girl dreams of being a princess on her big day. So on today's Wedding Bells, with the help of the Fairmont Empress, they've got their own take on a princess bride.
Hi, I'm Aubrey.
And I'm Sarah.
And we are the Wedding Bells.
I just got engaged.
And I did not. We're on an adventure to plan the big day. Once upon a time, 2 Wedding Bells traveled via the BC ferries to the Empress Hotel, a grand place to hold a royal-inspired wedding.
wedding photographer Lisa of Ophelia Photography would capture the princess for a day tale.
Upon arrival, they needed... we needed some serious help.
Have no fear, the trusty and talented Marion Groot and Carly Flint would bibbity-bobbity-boo us into being gown ready. The shoot was styled by May Lux, and oh, the shoes they provided. Let us not forget, one shoe can change your life.
The sun was shining, a few finishing touches, and then there we sat with the Queen's china. Used exclusively for royal occasions, King George V, the reigning Queen Elizabeth, and, that's right, the wedding bells. And then the clock struck a pretend midnight, and a magical spell was cast over the Empress. We asked, mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the fairest of them all? Turns out it's Sarah.
You made a very good evil face.
Well, that's true. As this bell told a tale as old as time,
and the other dreamt of living on a land without a tail. We both, however, remembered the #1 princess rule. Be true to yourself. And that is what we did.
The moral of our tale today is when it comes to creating and capturing your wedding vision, these fairy godmothers are fantastic, and the Empress is fit for any princess bride. And if you keep believing, the dream that you dream will come true.
For Shaw TV, we're the Wedding Bells.
The Fairmont also has a platinum honeymoon program for brides and grooms, which they call a one-stop shopping approach to planning your honeymoon. Basically, they do all the work and you get to do all the play. Also, if you're not booking Sarah and Aubrey to plan your wedding, they have on-site wedding planners as well. You're watching The Express and we're all about action. Up next.
There's 7 players on a team.
The Rugby Sevens, fast and fierce. ATVing with a tasty twist. The Express, we are your local voice.
The Express is brought to you in part by Plum, fashion supplier to host Johanna Ward.
Welcome back to The Express at Waterfront Park in North Vancouver. How do you feel about the lucky number 7? Well, listen to this. 7 players on a team, 7-minute halves, 7 points. That's the Rugby Sevens that recently brought teams from all over the world to compete at Swangard Stadium in Burnaby.
Go, 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 go! Yeah. You're right.
We are in Burnaby at Swangard Stadium at Vancouver International Rugby Sevens. Rugby Sevens is a shorter version of the traditional game of rugby. Basically, you have 7 players in each team compared to 14. The game is also shorter. It's 7-minute halves, much faster pace. The field is wider, very exciting. You usually say if you blink, you might miss a score.
I've been playing Rugby Sevens for the last 21 years. I played at international rugby and played in 7 Rugby World Cups and won 2 of them as a captain for Fiji. I play in Sevens, we call it a playmaker. So it's like the first receiver. This is one of the techniques, is the line out. So once the ball goes out of touch, we have to throw the ball in with 3 jumpers. Throw, jump. When the team's playing with the ball and they knock the ball on, the ball is given to the opposition. So it's called a scrum. Crouch, touch, pause, engage.
I've been playing Rugby Sevens now for at least over 12 years. Represented the England team for probably the last 12 as well. Played my first tournament when I was maybe about 15, 16, and fell in love with it. I play number 10, so I'm the thinker in the back line and the guy that helps get the team around the park. I enjoy playing the Sevens based on the fact that it highlights your skill ability and you're able to express yourself out on a field and do certain things that you sometimes can't do in the 15s game because it's a bit more crowded. It just gives you that opportunity to score tries, kick goals. I enjoy it. I enjoy everything about it. A try is 5 points. A conversion is 2. The There's 7 players on a team. There's 3 forwards, 2 props and 1 hooker. There's 3 backs, a wing, a centre and a number 10. The other player left on the team is the number 9, the scrum half. The game is played with 2 7-minute halves with a 2-minute half-time break.
Vancouver International Rugby Sevens is great not only for Vancouver or Burnaby, the whole city, because it brings different communities together. Today we have fans from Tonga, Samoa, Fiji. It's a great community sport. Different cultures showcased. People get to meet and make friends throughout the course of the day, and just bridges the gap, especially Vancouver being a very multicultural city. We have lots of different cultures being showcased here today.
Ben has been competing in rugby tournaments since he was just 15 years old. Servay's been in 7 Rugby World Cups and won 2 of them for Fiji. Awesome. Now it's time for a whole different kind of action. Up next, we're joining Nicole Fitzgerald in Whistler. So what was your favorite part of the ATV tour?
Getting to experience the mountains in the early morning. Everything is so quiet and serene, and views stretch on forever. Emotions run the gamut on a sunrise waffle ATV tour with Canadian. From awestruck to awesome to pass the maple syrup, please, I'll definitely have seconds.
For myself, ATVing gets you out here, right? It gets you out into these mountains.
450cc ATVs. Rocks, roots, and rowdiness. All this trailhead leaves you with is the deep desire to crush beer cans on your forehead.
It's just getting off the pavement, you know, getting into the dirt, the dust, the mud, the puddles. Yeah, it just takes people away from their normal life.
Welcome to Redneck Country, Louisiana style, situated in the least likely of places. Whistler, a 5-star resort, more famously known for showcasing mountains, instead invites guests to find their inner mullet, here on a sunrise waffle tour with Canadian Wilderness Adventures.
I'm going to go over everything just so you guys are comfortable on the machine.
The road to Redneck begins on Blackcomb Mountain. If you don't pack chewing tobacco, don't worry. Guides like Mike Hee-Haw McWilliams carefully reviews how ATV machines work.
When you're not using them, just keep your hands off the brakes, just so you don't. All our guides, highly trained. Most of them have been in the industry for years.
And most guides live off a strict diet of maple pepper bacon, which awaits at the mountaintop breakfast at the peak of this tour. It's the ATVing ABCs. A is for adrenaline, B for bacon, and C for not just 1, but 2 cups.
For us, we saw 4 to 6 bears. There's also deer, coyote. I'm still in awe every time. Sometimes we'll get groups that maybe just like to go a little faster or something, but I'll always make sure to stop and enjoy them, just for myself even. Yeah, never gets old, never could, never would. We've got Rainbow Mountain and then Sprout Mountain.
An ATV and bacon worshiper of 7 years, and still Mike is a stop and smell the flowers kind of guy who drives us all the way up to 6,000 feet. The Crystal Hut we arrive. Batter is poured, golden waffles bake, and then guests make glaciers of their own out of berries and fresh whipped cream.
And you can go pancake or you can go waffle. You want those syrup catchers. Yeah, especially smothered in berries. Yeah, that's the way I like it.
Unable to fit one last strip of bacon into our bellies, our group descends, past the snow line again. Nearing the end of this 4-hour adventure, I realize there's an additional letter to ATVing's ABCs. How could I forget D?
People tend to embrace the dirt. The Whistler mustache, the dirty face that you get after wearing a full face helmet. People love it, yeah. It's part of the whole experience.
For redneck and mountain lovers alike. From Whistler, I'm Nicole Fitzgerald for Shaw TV.
For those of us that are not morning people, they also offer an ATV salmon bake in the evening. Just imagine the sunsets. You can get details at the website. And for more things to do around the sea to sky, Metro Vancouver and the Fraser Valley, here's the 411 on the FYI.
Radar's Quality Assured Collisions FYI is presented by Radar's Quality Assured Collision, an ICBC Valet accredited repair facility.
The entire family is welcome to join the fun at the Kitsilano Community Center's Picnic in the Park, Sunday, August 12th from 10 to 3. Rock your red, white, and maple at Canada Fest at Canada Place, Saturday, August 4th from 11 to 7. Explore Japanese culture at the Powell Street Festival, August 4th and 5th at Oppenheimer Park and surrounding venues.
Radar's Quality Assured Collisions FYI was presented by Radar's Quality Assured Collision.
Also this weekend, it's the 25th Annual Caribbean Days Festival here at Waterfront Park in North Vancouver, and the first fireworks display from the Celebration of Lights. We're going to leave you with a little bit of that explosive action. Thanks for watching The Express, only on Shaw TV.